Hello and welcome back to episode number 23 of the Have I Told You About This podcast, the only YouTube podcast show bold enough to take you on a journey to wherever my mind takes me during the week. And now it takes us somewhere twice a week because you asked for it. Welcome, I'm Brad Komjenik, your host. Well, I'm normally Brad Komjenik, but tonight, as always, when it's a Survivor show, I'll be known as Buff Daddy. And oh yeah, it's time for Buff Daddy to take us back to the island and give the lowdown on episode number 3 of Survivor, season 50. Before we start, I'm always must thank those of you who continue to watch the show and who continue to like and, yep, there it is, subscribe. When you like and subscribe to the show, it just helps the show get noticed in YouTube's wacky algorithm, right? Some weeks there's very few watches because people are telling me they're not getting notices, and I'm like, well, did you like and subscribe? And they're like, well, no, not really. Well, when you do that, you tend to get the notices that the show's coming and when it's coming. And now I'm trying to do shows Wednesday and Saturday. So you know, even if you do like and subscribe and you don't get the notice, just know if you go to my page, you're going to find the shows on Wednesday and Saturday from here on out. Well, unless you guys change your minds again and you want either more shows or less shows or back to longer shows, because you're the viewer and it's my aim to please you. All right, enough of the YouTube talk. Let's get down to business. You ever watch Survivor and feel like the producers kind of just handed the fans a flamethrower and said, here, go ahead and burn the whole thing down? Well, to me, that's what happened with episode 3. We had a fan voted tribe swap, a fake idol heist still simmering in the background, a blindside so clean it left Q staring into the middle distance like he'd just been hit by a bus. And friends, Jeff Probst rapped. You heard that right. Jeff Probst actually rapped. No, not rapped as in rapping presents. Jeff busted rhymes. This is Survivor 50. In this week's episode, Did You Vote for a Swap? Was pure unfiltered chaos. So, as we always do, let's break it down. We're on the island of Fiji, and it's day 7. So, what do we got going on here? We open on day 7 in Fiji with the Sela tribe, and they're still kind of recovering from Savannah's elimination, and Christian and Rick are just kind of quietly celebrating their fake idol scroll that they planted in the fire pit, like kind of like 2 mischievous raccoons who just stole a loaf of bread. That's kind of why they came off to me. No one has yet to find it, but the paranoia about it for us viewers is building. All right, well, then comes tree mail, cryptic, ominous, and absolutely dripping with something big is coming. And then Jeff appears, and he's got a microphone, and he tells the people to start snapping their fingers. And yeah, look, no one could believe it. He rapped. He absolutely rapped. And then boom, the twist hits. This isn't a formal tribe swap. This is a fan voted tribe swap. The audience chose who would switch tribes, and the players had no idea. And the results, whew, they were messy, absolutely messy. But before that happened, what we see there is Christian, and he's telling Emily, "Hey, by the way, we found the Billie Eilish boomerang idol, and we gifted it to Aubrey on the other tribe." Now he had plenty of time to tell her about that um, before they went to this swap. See, but they kind of played it off like, oh, Emily was always with someone else and she was always talking to somebody else, and he couldn't have like grabbed her for 5 seconds and told her, but he didn't. And with Emily, if you don't let her in on absolutely everything from the word go, she's paranoid. She's one of the most paranoid people I think I've ever seen in my life. So it doesn't set well with her at all. But we do get new tribes. Okay. The new Vatu tribe is Emily and Q and Aubrey and Rizzo and Stephanie and Colby. Not a bad tribe. I thought that's pretty fair and pretty even makeup from people who could, handle um challenges like Q and Colby. Maybe, I mean, Aubrey would try, Stephanie would be in there. And then the new Sela tribe is Siri, Ozzy, Rick, Christian, Genevieve, and Angelina. And I think that tribe's going to be in trouble. Pretty crazy. I'm not sure how I like that tribe. See, old alliances, they're gone. Pre-game assumptions gone, shattered, trust, reset, all the way to zero. So I'll go ahead and we'll move the screens along here a little bit. Everybody's dropped their buffs and now they're moving along, and Jeff tells them pick out a new one, and of course Tiff says her stomach's bubbling, and look at that face. Look at that probe's face, right? That's pure unadulterated joy. That's brought on by the fans pulling this twist on these people so early. Just pulling the rug out from underneath any alliances that you'd worked so hard to build so early. But we keep going. Many are still the same color, many switch, and I've went through um, the different tribes with you there. So this is what we get, and there is no challenge. It's just, hey, guess what? This is all we did. You can leave now. So a few of them, like Genevieve, says, "All right, I'm screwed. I don't know anybody on this new tribe. I had alliances. People know that I did the idol thing, and they went away. So they're going to tell other people what I did." And so we have the new Kahlo tribe here with Chrissy and Genevieve and Joe, Coach, and Colby. Again, they're talking about old seasons there and what Coach used to do. Um, it was all just basic gibberish here. But what Coach does here is he tells Chrissy, "Hey, Chrissy, guess what? I just want to do you a favor. We've got this whole new tribe now, and everything's kind of cool. Everybody on our old tribe hated you because you were just too much. You came on too strong." And that rocked her world, because on this season, friends of Survivor, evidently it's in the rules that if anyone says anything negative to you, you must cry, and then you must blow up your game because of it. Because so far, that's what's happening. I don't know why. I don't know where this is coming from, right? But Chrissy, he says the old tribe, they start getting annoyed. And so she goes and sits by a tree. And they literally, it seems like they sat on her for like 10 minutes. It's not 10 minutes, it's probably a minute and a half. But she can't say a word. She just keeps looking around dumbfounded, like, I can't believe people don't like me. It's Survivor. Nobody likes you. You're trying to win their $1,000,000. Who's gonna like you? There's no crying in Survivor, but there is crying, and it just keeps happening week after week after. And then Aubrey's looking at her like, mm-hmm. See, Aubrey always kind of looks like she just smelled a fart, and she might kind of enjoy it, or maybe she doesn't. You don't know, but it's always the same look. And Chrissy's like, yeah, whatever. She's like, and then she tells this story that her family, um, like a lot through many people go down through the line, the women that have had cancer, and like I can't remember the exact percentages, so don't hold me to it. But it was something like she said, like I have a 78% chance of getting cancer. So she said she had her breasts removed, I think, and her ovaries. I mean, this is like after the breast removal and the ovaries and these all these, and she's like, and none of that bothered me, but coming out here and having somebody tell me they don't like me, that ruins my world. And I'm like, how do you go through this type of surgery, which is totally life altering, and that doesn't get you down, but somebody saying I don't like you does? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But look, I can't get down on her. Cancer survivor. If she wants to have a moment, let her have a moment. Okay. Then we head over to Sela, and they're all getting used to each other. And of course, you know, Siri is gonna be Siri, right? She's gonna get to everybody and tell them what she wants to tell them. And her and Riz now same team. So he starts lipping off like he usually does. She just smiles at him and later on calls him Riz God and says, "Oh my God," right? D, of course, who's already like frothing at the mouth to win, because this should be the tribe that she should take over. But there's that Siri. So D and Jonathan start saying, Siri gotta go. And they tell each other over and over and over again, if Siri's still here at a later date, at like say after the merge, she's won. We've got to get her out now. And then we go to the Vatu tribe with Ozzy, Christian, Emily, Mike, all I told you all those people. And Mike is realized he's got three people strong from David and Goliath on this tribe now. So they just need one more person. If they can just get one more person, they would have the numbers, right? So he's trying to sniff out who that other person could possibly be. Maybe it's Ozzy. Ozzy's got some strong ties, uh, with challenges and things, obviously. So why not why not be Ozzy? But maybe it might be somebody else. Maybe it'll be Q. Q's looking like, hey, I finally got people who are actually work and do things around here. And then he picks up on Ozzy like right away. And Emily comes around and says, gosh, I really want to work with Ozzy now because Christian blew up my game. And oh, hey, guys. And then here she does it again. By the way, guys, I shouldn't be telling you this, but Christian told me that he got a Billie Eilish idol. Now, keep in mind, Ozzy has one of those idols, right? Ozzy plays this off perfectly for once. For once, Ozzy did something right. He didn't just spill out, "Oh, I've got one of those idols. I know what that is." Blah blah blah. And so, but he didn't. And she's like, "Yeah, Christian gave that idol to Aubrey, and now it could come back to him. And I thought he was like my number one. He's not. So can I come play with you guys?" So now, this Q's looking at her like, "Yep, there's our fourth. That's exactly who we need." So Ozzy's like, "Oh man, sorry to hear that," and they kind of let her talk, and well, in that to show you Christian's away. Q's like, "Oh wow, I know I can trust her. She just told me, Emily just told me all about the idols and everything, so I'm good to go. She's definitely on my team." So fast forward a little bit, we got these three. Um, Q and Emily, there we're talking about strategy and numbers and what they need. And Emily kind of goes off and once again says, "Yeah, I don't know how solid I am with this. Like people are talking at me. They're not talking to me. They're not asking me for my opinion. Honey, no one's going to ask you for your opinion. It's Survivor. They're not gonna wait on you to do anything. You got a mouth and you can always use it for the wrong things. Why not use it for the good things and just go get the information you need from people, right? If Savannah didn't teach us anything, it's just speak directly to people. That's how you learn what you need to know. Anyway, what happens is she starts talking to other people and now she's got a brand new another alliance and she's like, "Oh, well, we need to get Christian back on our side." So Angelina is telling, Emily, "Hey, you're my new fast buddy. I can trust you. Let's go get Christian back. We can go do that. You just go talk to him." Right? So she goes and talks to him. And she immediately says, "Hey, Christian, I'm sorry I blew up your game." And he goes, "What'd you do? Who'd you tell that to?" He already knew what she told. And she said, "Oh, I told everybody." And he's like, "Shaboom. She blew me up. She totally blew me up." But then Christian, because he is a diabolical genius, he's just a genius. He's like, "I'll just use this in my favor." Right? Like, yeah, she told everybody about that, but now I can use that against her at any time that I want. Also, there's no proof that I did it. I don't have an idol. I mean, he was amazing. I could watch this guy play this game all day long because he just plays people constantly. You can see he's happy now about what's going on and in his thing. She's like, "I'm sorry for dropping this on you, Christian." And then we back to Coach and Genevieve and this team and everybody's awesome. It reminds me of the Lego movie. Everything is awesome. Everybody's here. We're all just awesome. Everything's great, but lose and see what happens. It's not going to be awesome for very long. But Genevieve just can't seem to feel right about anything now since the merge. I don't know why. I think she's doing fine, but she's having her trouble, and Joe's just trying to. Joe's Joe, man. He's playing the exact same game he played before. I'm going to reassure everyone, and I'm going to be nice to everyone and give trust to everyone. And Genevieve's like, "Yeah, I want to play that game with you." And Genevieve is like, "Yeah, but there's people around here throwing your name around, Joe." And that's the Joe, "Oh my God, you said my name" look, right? That could be put on a t-shirt all the way from his season to right now. If you go to Joe any day of the week that ends in Y and you say, "Hey, Joe, Brad just said your name," he's going to have that look on his face. What? 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 I mean, so crazy, right? But Genevieve goes and grabs Chrissy and says, "Hey, look, it's you, me, and Joe, and we got to look out for other people." And then there's Tiffany. So she tries to pull in Tiffany because they want to get Aubrey out because they know Aubrey's got the idol now. But here's the problem: Tiffany can't keep her mouth closed for 5 seconds. Goes to Aubrey because Aubrey's her number one, and tells Aubrey, "Hey, look, they're throwing your name around already." Aubrey's like, you know, "You're my number one now, and I will only ever trust you, and that's that. And thank you for that." And this is, she said right here, she said, "I would cry if I could." Look at that face. That face doesn't cry, people. Look at it. There's no, she understands there's no tears in Survivor. You just buckle up. Somebody said my name. Great. We'll get him out. That's that. There's no crying here. And she wants, Genevieve out. And then she does her little confessional about how everybody else has to go but her and Tiffany. And back to Siri and Riz and You and Maria don't talk anymore, right?" This was funny. Rizzo tells Charlie, he says, "Hey, by the way, hey Charlie, um, you and Maria, you don't talk anymore, right?" And actually, Charlie says, "Yeah, no, yeah, I don't speak to her anymore for what she did. She caused me to lose the game with her vote, how she voted or didn't vote in his season." And Rizzo, being Rizzo, right, completely forgets about a conversation he has the night before. So he's sitting here and bringing that up with Charlie to say, "Hey, look, well, I would never do that to you, right? You mean too much to me. I would never do that to you." So Charlie goes back to this night when he, is at final three and loses and remembers what Maria had did. And then here's Riz saying, you're my number one. I would never do that to you. By the way, there are these idols in the game, and they're called Billie Eilish Boomerang Idols. I just wanted to tell you that just to show you how much I trust you and how much I want to be on your team. And Charlie then says, "I hate Riz." And then he says, uh, there was a conversation the night before. So we actually go back in time to the night before, and it was Rizzy, you got a bestie from your season? And Rizzo said, oh yeah, it was Sophie. Sophie was my bestie. 110% it was Sophie. Uh, I didn't vote for her to win though. I actually voted for Savannah. Oh, but it didn't cost Savannah. The way I voted didn't cost Savannah to lose like Maria did with you, Charlie. And Charlie's like, nah, he would stick that pig sticker in my back in a heartbeat. So now Rizzo has to go. He hates the Riz God. All right, now immunity challenge. This, friends, is the blindfolded chaos challenge. It's super, super classic from Survivor. One person is a caller, five blindfolded tribe mates, obstacles everywhere, puzzle at the end. Colby gets absolutely wrecked. He slammed into a post so hard with his head that the sound echoed. It literally echoed. And then Jeff Probst, with zero sympathy, yells, "Hey, this is Survivor. Buck, buck up, man!" Right? And then also, they're not only doing immunity here, but winner gets 3 chickens, runner up gets 1 chicken, a loser just goes to tribal. That's it. And I do like those new immunity idols, by the way. I think they're kind of they're like the phoenix. You rise again. One gold, one silver. So I will, use again. I'll go through this fast as you're watching from video. It's basically two sets of, or you've got you're two people, and two people in the caller on your team, and you're trying to call out to each one of them so that they can go get a particular ring, so that at the end you can throw your rings and then get the pieces to your puzzle so that you can do your puzzle. So we got Ubeki calling for one team, for his team. Um, Camilla for her team. We'll eventually get to the other one here. I forget who was calling for the other. Goodness sakes, why won't they ever show it? Sorry about this. Oh, there. Chrissy. Chrissy's calling. And it was kind of, but fairly close there between pink and blue. Orange just kind of hardly was in it at all. It was kind of, kind of bad. Um, but Chrissy did a fairly good job for her team. Uh, but then all of a sudden, Charlie has a meltdown, and he can't get anybody to do absolutely anything. And then the other two tribes come on strong. So Vatu actually loses. They are headed to tribal. That means Ozzy will have been at tribal 3 times, which is pretty crazy, right? So let's just speed on to the end here. Look, Hibiki can't even just be bothered to look over to his right to see what the puzzle looks like from the other people. Those rocks you can see there in the video should be on the bottom, and they totally just can't even get it. You can see the other two tribes, Orange and Teal, have theirs already done, and Yubiki's is just barely started. Now, Yubiki puts the loss on himself, right? And almost kind of in that position as you should. I mean, you were the caller of the tribe, so you see Yubiki and Nazi and all of them. They know they're heading to tribal council. So back at Vatu, Q thinks he's actually running the show. He's being loud with people. He's acting, confident. Yubiki starts off and says, "This is on me. I can understand why you would want me out, blah, blah, blah." And nobody's really talking about the fact that Emily blew him up anymore. So this loss actually works in his favor. He comes back, and it's almost like a Dr. Will from Big Brother. "Hey, vote me out. I don't care. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Yeah, you should vote for me, right?" And but he doesn't say that, but basically he just says, "Hey, this is on me, and I understand why, you would want to vote for me." Um, so here we go. Mike's like, "Yeah, it ain't gonna be him. I've got other people I need out." And Mike seems to be running this tribe. So Q doesn't like it though. And you also realize that he's making deals with absolutely everybody at this point. But what about Emily? Right? Emily's watching what Q's doing, and she's calculating, and she's seeing his cracks. So as we move along, Mike is once again just bird dogging everybody. And then he's like, "Hey, it was all going to be we're going to vote for one person," and then Mike just says, "You know what? I think instead everything that I just told you, Emily, forget it. We're going to vote for Q." And I'm like, "Q? Why Q?" And then it comes back to Yubiki telling her, "Well, it's going to be you, obviously." And she's like, "No, no, 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 no. That's not going to work." And then we see that she actually got to be on that White Lotus show with Mike. So she thinks, "You know what? Mike's got me. I don't need to do much here. I'm fine. I'm going to be fine." So Ozzy and her talking, and he's like, "Yeah, I keep hearing your name mentioned." She's like, "No, I'm fine." And then Emily goes out to talk to Ozzy because again, she wants to really, really work with Ozzy. So they have a nice little talk, and it's got to be Janelle. And Ozzy's like, "Yeah, I don't know about that. I think there's other people we need to get out first." And Emily isn't having it. And Stephanie and Aubrey are quietly bonding, and Rizzo's playing both sides. And Colby, he's just trying to stay conscious after whacking his head as he did. And then Emily makes the call, and she flips. She too decided Q was just too chaotic, too unpredictable, too dangerous to keep around. For me, watching Emily flip took me right back to Survivor Cagayan. I remember Cass flipping on her alliance, and the entire fan base began screaming at their TVs. It felt like betrayal, but it also was genius. And that's exactly what Emily did here. She saw the chaos again. She knows Q. She knows what he's about. Going to everybody, telling he told Mike to vote him out again, trying to play that same game he played last time. But Emily was aware of it. She saw it. She took the opportunity. So let's move ahead so we can get to tribal. Be just a moment here as we get to see Emily work her magic on everybody and says, Q, it's going to be Q. Q says, no way, it's me. I got it. We're all good. Let's head to Tribal. Tribal was tense. Q was definitely confident in himself. Always, never, hardly even looking at anyone or anything and doing a lot of smiling. And he talked a little bit about loyalty and strength. Jeff asked about trust. Emily gave a lot of vague answers here, as you do when you're playing so many different sides. Stephanie just nods, and Aubrey didn't hardly say a word. It's kind of crazy how this whole thing works out. And then the votes came in. 5 votes for Q, and that's all. He was blindsided. No idols. Hibiki just left that idol sitting there right where it was. Would have been the perfect time for Hibiki to reach down and grab that idol and say, oh, looky what I just found. I wonder what this is. I'll just open this up later when we get back to the beach. Nope, didn't do that. He left it set there. We were left with just a clean, brutal, go home Q vote. And I've got to say, I'm not going to miss Q a lot, really, here. Um, I had hopes that he would be a better player this season than he was last season, but he's not. He's the same person doing the same stuff. Emily's still playing the same game, but she's playing it in a different way with different people this time. That's allowing her to play same style, but get a different outcome. Now, Q also had even lost his vote, and there's the thing that says you can't even vote. So for telling people to vote for you when you know you don't have a vote and you don't have the numbers, yeah, right. I've seen a lot of blind sides in Survivor, but this one just hit home. Q tried to play big. He was loud. He was messy, but he got what he deserved. It was like watching a chess match where the queen sacrifices herself thinking she can take the king, but she actually was in the wrong position to do so. Q's outcome here was beautiful. So that was pretty much it. Let's zoom out and talk big picture now. Episode 3 gave us enough data to start identifying who's actually playing well and who's just surviving. I think for best strategic game so far, I give to Emily. Emily's played the sharpest strategic game. Here's why. She's made the biggest move of the season so far. She's correctly read Q as a long-term threat if he keeps up with the chaos, so out he needs to go. She flipped without blowing up her social standing to anyone, which was great. And she positioned herself as a swing vote in a new tribe, which we know can work in your favor every time. She's unpredictable, and that makes her dangerous. I think Emily's playing chess and the rest of them are playing checkers at this point. What about best social game? Well, I think this is clear and an easy answer. It's Siri. Siri's doing Siri again. She's the warmest person on the island. Everybody trusts her. Everyone talks to her. Everyone wants to work with her. She's not pushing votes. She's guiding them. She's not leading alliances. She's shaping them. Siri's the sun around which the entire Sela tribe orbits. And the best part, outside of maybe Jonathan a little and D, no one's really saying her name, and you need a lot more than 2 people whispering your name to get you out. That's social dominance. Who's playing the dumbest game right now? Well, by far, Rizzo. What? Why? Why is he doing it? He's trying to play both sides way too early. His number 1, Savannah, is gone already. He's got nobody else that he even remotely knows. He's not subtle about his idiocy that he keeps doing. Everyone sees right through him. He got a stray vote, and that, of course, is Survivor poison. He got a so he's crazy. He's just nuts. He's not building trust. He's eroding it. He's acting like he's in the middle, but no one sees it that way. He's playing like he's on season 10 when he's I'm sorry, like he's on episode 10 of this show, like it's almost over and he's won it, but we're only on episode 3. He's gonna get clipped early. Wait and see. You know, everyone that I've talked to about the show says it was so surprising Q got voted off, right? He's a big personality. He's loud. He's confident. He's entertaining. He got blindsided. And that's not shocking. Not because he didn't deserve it, but because players like Q tend to last longer because they play a little bit smarter, but not Q. Not Q. Emily took him out early, and that's a statement. So, before we wrap here, episode 3 wasn't just a tribe swap, it was a reset. It was a reminder that in Survivor, nothing and no one is ever safe, particularly when you're in the hands of the fans. No alliance, no advantage, no player is safe. And when the fans get involved like this, when the game truly is in the hands of the fans, anything can happen. This, my friends, is Survivor 50. This is chaos. This is why the Buff Daddy loves this show. I wouldn't have it any other way. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. So let me know. Hit me up down in the comments. What are you thinking about the show so far? Do you agree with the people that have gone? We've seen Jenna, we've seen Savannah, we've seen Q, right? Kind of two newer people and one OG like generation one Transformer survivor, right? I mean, the original. So you can't say, oh, it looks like new people are going to go. It's kind of a mixture of both. But the thing I see is so many people are trying to play the same type of game. Joe and Siri and Ozzy and just down the line, they're all still playing the game the way they did before, and I don't see a lot of changes. And I think you're the person who is going to end up winning this year is probably going to change. They're going to have to change. And it's not saying none of these people will, but I'm just saying they better get on the bus and get the change started because it's way too easy if you know anything about these people and their seasons to guess what they'll do next. So please let me know what you're like thinking about the show. Who's your favorite? Do you agree with my picks for who's playing the smartest, who's playing the dumbest, who's the best social? Let me know down in the comments what you're thinking about the season so far here at episode 3. And if you would just take a moment, like, subscribe, give me those comments down there so we can get this show in more eyes for more people so more people can enjoy it. All right, friends, that is the Survivor Season 50, Episode 3 recap for Episode 23 of the absolutely amazing show. Have I told you about this? And now I've told you about Episode 3 of Season 50 of Survivor. Come on back next week. We'll have another episode, another show of this. We'll have an episode of this show for the next episode of Survivor and episode 4, and then one other topic, whatever my mind takes me to for next week. All right. Take care. We'll see you next week.